Introducing the new party. We live stream Monday through Thursday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's gonna come out how it come out. You feel me? Yo, none of this is rehearsed. Everything is off the top.
Vulgar. Welcome to the man cave.
Hey y'all, welcome to the man cave. Raw, uncut, and unfiltered. This is where we break down men's issues. Real barbershop talk, no sugarcoating. Our mission, making the black community better, one black man at a time. Now, I know y'all saw the headline and we'll get to that. But in the man cave, we don't just skip to the main event. We cover all issues that matter first. So sit back, lock in, let's get to it. I'm Vulgar.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Easy.
I'm Yobasai.
Welcome. We got our guest, Yobasai, tonight. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up with your crazy ass. Grew up in Kansas City. I'm out here in LA. I'm a writer, comedian, thought provoker, all around creative.
Cool.
Sound like a hustler to me.
Trying to be, man.
That's all we know, man. All right, if I get into the first headline, man, I just wanted to say one of our last Man Cave episodes we did where we were talking about the Telvin Osborne? I can't remember the chick name.
Yeah, I don't.
Huh?
I said I don't remember her name either.
Yeah, it was a lot of pushback, man. It got me thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just the black women that's coming at black men for standing up. It's also a lot of these liberal white men. Like most of the attacks in the comments from all of us was from like liberal white men. So that kind of just woke me up. Y'all got anything to say to that? I know you the liberal, Gray.
So yeah, I was reading the comments on Vulgar YouTube video, the Man Cave show that we did last week, and basically the guy was coming at Vulgar and other people on the cast, and we had a guest that I want to remember his name. I don't know if y'all remember his name, but it was like the Haitian guy in pink. He was there too, I think, and basically he was saying like black men talking down on black women, and that's the reason that black women messed up. And my comment was, well, two guys said they were in a relationship with black women, so if they can't critique black women, who can? Like, first, women get mad that they with white women, but like Bogle said, this was a white guy that did it. So he said we should treat the women better, but I don't understand why he said that.
I think it's a control mechanism. Do you know anything about that, Yobasal?
I'm trying to catch up to the topic. What was the topic that y'all were talking about?
I'll pretty much sum it up. There was this black guy who pretty much just threw black women under the bus, said he don't date them. He rather date a dog before a black woman, and a white dog at that. And black women ran with it. We covered it, and we were just saying, like, while the guy was wrong for what he said, that we shouldn't be celebrating death on either side. Like, men shouldn't do it to women, and women shouldn't do it to men. And instead of it being that, in the comment section, it just ran to just a disdain for black men.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a like that whole topic is so multi-layered because I feel like there's so many, cultural tropes that people kind of feed into, and there's a lot of truth. And, just like with every stereotype, there's always a little bit of truth. But, as a person that primarily dates black women, I could never say that. I would definitely rather deal with the devil I know than the new devil. So, um, you know, I would primarily date black women. I definitely, but with the to that same token, I would never celebrate the death of anybody, period. And I don't think women should jump on that and take somebody who probably are obviously doesn't represent most of us and try to make it seem like we all think like that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember it, because what we were comparing it to is how everybody celebrated Kevin Samuels dying. And his overall mission was to bring black people together, even though there was a shock factor, entertainment
Yeah.
factor to it.
But I think Kevin Samuels held up a mirror in front of a lot of people that made them feel uncomfortable. You know, they might not have liked his delivery, but I don't think many people could argue about Kevin Samuels' overall message. He wasn't saying anything that was wrong
Yeah. We
at
know that.
all. Yeah.
You got any comments on the situation, or do you think like white liberals are pushing to pretty much emasculate black men also to keep
Um,
us controlled?
I would think white conservatives would want to emasculate black men more than white liberals, but um, I don't know if you. I don't think it's a liberal or conservative thing. I think if you want to talk about throughout history, white men trying to demasculate black men and so subvert manners, then that's been happening since the beginning of mankind. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a liberal or conservative thing.
You think it's just a competitive thing amongst humans where we divide amongst like differences like race and we compete?
I think it's tribalism on certain levels.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of been in my hole, not really paying attention to too much. So, you know, uh I don't know. I think we've seen it with no matter who's in office, no matter who's in power,
Yeah.
you see similar things. It's just, you know, the whole delivery method of it.
Yeah.
Some Trump might come in and embolden people, and it's just way more over the top. And Biden might be in office or whomever else, Obama might be in office, and it's still going on. It's just kind of, you know, more polite.
Yeah. You got anything to say easy before I go to our first topic?
Nah, it sound like you said everything, man. I don't want to be an echo. You feel me? So
Yeah.
let's move on to the next.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Yobasal, for joining us tonight.
Man, it's my pleasure. I wasn't doing nothing. I had to kind of run in, make sure I was charged up.
All
But
right, here we go.
yeah.
More than 150 points on the day, or roughly about 2.7%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down almost 900 points, or 2% on the day. The NASDAQ Composite is going to close lower by 700 points, or about 4%. Similar move lower on the NASDAQ 100. And the Russell 2000 also being dragged down on the day, down 56 points, or 2.7%.
All right, quick check on the S&P 500. You had 341 names to the downside, guys, 162 to the upside, Scarlett.
And given that the S&P closed down about 2.7%, you would think that all 11 sectors are in the red. That's not the case. Utilities gaining more than 1%. Energy also holding up by about 1% as well. Of course, they're among the two smallest sectors in the S&P.
How y'all feel about that? Y'all think this is directly tied? Well, we know it's directly tied to the Trump tariffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I posted in our group chat that now Trump all of a sudden is saying, oh, don't use the stock market as a way to judge the economy. Now we're doing the Chinese method, which is 100 years. We want to see what we can do in 100 years. So it's a total opposite of what he promised, what people thought grocery prices and all that was going to go down on the first day. So I feel like that's a part of the economy too. And Wall Street is upset with him because it's just like, you just keep going back and forth on, I'm going to tariff, am I not going to tariff? So it's a volatile market and, people are panicking.
Mm-hmm.
Been up on this, Yobasaw?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said, Gray. I think it's the market likes stability, and he's been flip flopping too much. You know, a lot of uneducated people really took what he said on the surface level and thought, all of a sudden the prices were going to go down. I don't know who they thought was going to pay the tariffs. Um, but I think just the way that he's been flip flopping and kind of, being so reactionary and impulsive at the same time, the market's not going to react. And I think, people are really starting to realize what this is going to mean for everybody, past the 4 years that he's in office. Like, he's doing things that's going to affect us for a really long time.
About you, Easy?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be some change in the economy. It's inevitable, you know what I'm saying? So, man, it's gonna be a hell of a year, bro.
Can y'all agree with what Trump said though, as far as like, would you say the Chinese method of 100 years from now?
That's what he said. Like to have like a greater economy in 100 years.
I mean, when you said it, I heard it in passing. Like I'm like Yobasaw, kind of haven't been able to really sit down and catch up on everything. But when you said it, it makes sense. I did a TikTok a few days ago where I was telling people like, "Hey, don't regret your vote," because if you have something inside of you, right, that you let it linger too long, like your heart, right? You got to have heart surgery. You got to need a triple bypass. You can't just take some medicine and clear it out. Now you got to cut it open, go in there, put a stent in, clear everything out, and guess what? You're down. Like you just don't go and do open heart surgery and then come out of it and you walk into work the next day. You're probably out of work for 3 months because you got to heal. So that's why I'm trying to be stoic about the situation. Okay, things are down. Like right now, we in surgery. Right now, he's making the decision and going in. So we're gonna just have to hunker down. Like I said, after maybe 2 years, if things are still looking crazy, all right, maybe we got an issue. Maybe we need to reevaluate. But right now, when you're making these type of changes, this is gonna happen. Like we're gonna have to just suffer. Like everybody just wants to heal, like on Star Trek, where they just put a little laser over you and you good. Now you running and fighting again. That's not how the real world works.
See, Vogel, I would agree with you, but that's not what he campaigned on. If he would have said, all right, guys, it's going to be a lot of pain, there's going to be a lot of destruction, a lot of chaos, but in 100 years, America's going to be the greatest place, then it would have been okay. But he acted like Joe Biden was so trash, Kamala was so trash, and then he was going to come in there and he was going, everything's going to be beautiful from day one. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. You know what I'm saying? So it was false advertisement.
I don't think it was false advertisement. It's just like you have to manipulate, just like when you want your kids to eat eat their vegetables, you have to talk them into it. You get what I'm saying? Like just to come in like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna come in there, it's gonna be better. But y'all gonna pay $15 for eggs for a little bit. Who's gonna vote for you? Nobody. Just like if you tell baby peas taste like rocks, they're not gonna want to eat it. So the campaign thing, everybody, politicians lie. When you're trying to sell something, you're gonna tell half truths. Like I never take Trump at his word. Like he's a bullshitter. Like I grew up on people that's like they really do what they do, but they exaggerate. They do all these things. So I didn't take Trump literally like that, but I knew his intention was good. I still think his intention is good. It's just that we're not used to going through stuff. We so spoiled and entitled as Americans. We're not used to getting close to third world issues. So I still have faith in him to do what he's supposed to do. And what I really want to push is, especially for the Black community, man, I'm telling you, I've been on my Charles Schwab today. Like I was saying, like people was hoarding toilet paper back in 2020. I just been buying stocks so they all low. Like I just had some extra cash sitting around because I have a debit amount that come out every week. And I just went in and bought some of the stocks that went down.
Mm-hmm.
And I would advise everybody to do that right now.
Yo, what's up? You were about to say something, right?
No, I think that's an interesting example of like when we compare it to the Chinese method of thinking 100 years out, um, simply because of the difference in our systems. You know, it's really hard to kind of lay an infrastructure like that when you only have a president for 4 years, eight at the max. You know, Trump can't go another term after this. So, you know, it's not like he's Putin and he could go in there and spend 15, 20 years laying the framework for what he wants the country to look like in 100 years. He's kind of just running in, you know, knocking shit over and, you know, b- laying all the tools out to lay the concrete and everything, but he's not even going to be around to really have to do the work. Like, and who knows who's going to go in office after him? You would need to have, I think, for most of these promises that anybody is running on, you would need to have a consistent um government for like at least 15, 20 years to do that. But you know, with it coming in and it's a whole new party and people are they being petty themselves. They just blocking stuff that could help us just so they could prove a point because somebody said something that they didn't like. And it's ruining. Is he doing a lot of good stuff? Yeah. Did we need to get immigration under control? Yeah. Is the tariff all around a bad thing? No. But is he going about it in the healthiest way? I don't agree so either. But and I don't know. I think he's going about it so abrasively. I would be surprised how many things are going to stick after he gets out of office.
Mhm. But what other way can you go around it when people are just entitled?
Ooh,
Like people are just being, I'm saying like all these, you know, the programs that he's shutting down, a lot of them I agree with. The
yeah.
extra money that's been spent and people are just whining and crying and protesting. I see them on the plaza every day just protesting. And I'm just like, there's no real nice, there's no nice way of doing it. I think Trump is doing it the best way possible. It's ugly, but he's the only one that's gotten in there and is like, because I feel like when, as a president, when you go in office, everybody sit you down and be like, hey, you new here. This how things run. I know you said all that stuff on the campaign trail, but this ain't what's
Hmm.
going down. And then they switch up. Trump has really hunkered down and stuck to most of what he said he was going to do. Now I know Gray was saying like the results, yeah, the results haven't happened, but what he said he was going to do, he's doing it. And I have to respect the fact that he's sticking to what he said he was going to do because all the other presidents since I've been alive, they say a lot of stuff on the campaign trail, and then when they get in there, they just lay down and go to sleep.
Well,
What?
easy. You
Mhm.
missed the XRP, and you say you would have voted for Trump if you voted. Are you happy with your stock portfolio? Because you say it was going to be Bitcoin and all that was going to be the Federal Reserve.
No, I didn't say. I never said Bitcoin. I said XRP was going to be a part of it, which it was, and there's a few other companies. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at the list right now, but yeah, man, everything takes time. This is not going to happen overnight. The man just got in the office. Give him time, dog. And you know, change ain't good for everybody. So a positive is not always going to be for everyone when it comes to this change. Some people going to look at it in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? So do I agree with everything he's doing? No. I mean, it seems like he's just tearing down the government and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to destroy it and then rebuild. And I guess you got a plan, man. We just gotta see what happens, dog. I don't know. I got my seatbelt strapped in, ready for the ride, though.
Yo,
Yeah.
what's up? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I can't tell if you voted for Kamala or Trump.
Well, I'm an independent, so I vote based off of issue. But what I will say, just to kind of mirror something that Vogel said was, you know, I do think that we need to start voting with our dollar in the market. Like people need to get a lot more financially savvy. People need to be investing in XRP. People need to be investing in the market because that's something that's never going to go away. And you
Hmm.
know, we as a people, speaking of Black people, we keep missing out on these moments to enrich ourselves and really take advantage of it the same way that they're doing. You know, we missed the boat at the beginning of the pandemic, you know, when when everybody was investing in the pharmaceutical companies, a lot of people got rich. Um, and I'm pretty sure, you know, at every other pivotal moment in the market and when society changes, there's always it's a buying moment, you know. So the market is down. Now's the time when people need to be investing and really learning about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. It hit me when I was looking through my investments because I have one that I buy a lot of. It's a real estate company, and I
Mhm.
noticed that it doesn't fluctuate a lot. Like it pretty much stays similar, but it pays out a dividend. And somebody had gave me a tip a few years ago to get that, so I've always held on to it. Um, and then I was thinking, if there was a recession or a type of crash like '08, to me, I'm looking at that. I'm almost like I feel bad because I'm almost like if we get that again and real estate and property go down, I'm trying to build, right? Like I got it to the point to where, you know, on the personal level, I've been able to carry stuff, you know, like my girl now, she's working. So we literally just putting all her money up. And for that reason, if this in a year or so, if the market is to fall, we'll have money to invest because I'm ready to buy some properties if that were to happen. And like to me, this is an opportunity. Like the media is pushing the narrative because they dislike Trump. They're pushing the narrative of scaring people that the market's going to crash. The market's going to crash. Here's the thing: if you sitting on your money, you sitting on your cash, you sitting on your wealth, you own your car, you don't have all these credit card debt and bills, and you put yourself in a position to prosper. Because a lot of businesses they start during recessions and they suffer through it, and then once the market goes back up, they flourish. So that's my whole point in even wanting to talk about this is to tell the Black community, like, stop being scared. If you're doing what you're supposed to do and make the right decisions, if you haven't, now's the time to do it. Like you should be out of debt. You should be trying to pay things off. Like that's been my biggest thing is to pay down my debt. And a lot of it's there. Hey, you got to file bankruptcy. Do it. This 6 months, fresh start. Like whatever it is you got to do to position yourself. If we're going to go into this type of situation, do it. Stop being scared and stop letting the media scare y'all.
Makes sense.
Agree.
Before you go to your next video, Vogel, I was gonna say because I hear everybody say like, "Oh, I could have invested in Google, I could have invested in Bitcoin." And my bad. But like me, prime example, I had a chance to buy Bitcoin in college, right? But the guy told me he was like, "Yeah, but if you lose it, it's worthless. The key or whatever that you get
Mhm.
before you had the apps where it's like easy to buy. So sometimes like we don't have the information or we don't have the access as Black people or people below poverty or middle class to be able to like take that type of risk where it's like, okay, I know I'm gonna get a return on my investment or something that I don't know. Or something I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people definitely kicking themselves for not buying Bitcoin at an earlier time, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I had an opportunity, but it's just like I think now, especially in our age group, but with what we have access to, it's just like if you get pulled over by the police, like ignorance of the law isn't an excuse, and we can't keep using ignorance as an excuse. I did the same thing. One of my homies was trying to, he told me, I want to say it was '09 or 2010, something like that. He was like, man, just take $100 and get some Bitcoin. You never know what it's gonna turn into. I think about that every other day, bro. Like
Mm,
that. I think
Yeah, we
about that.
got
I
the
would have
same
I
story.
like
mm.
that would have changed my whole life.
Oh my
But
God.
but I
Yeah.
I did the same thing that you did. I was like, wait, I gotta go with who, and I gotta go through all these steps to get it, and then I don't know what it's good. Like, what is it? Where's it? What's it gonna be on? If I would have took a
Yeah.
little time, I had the money. The $100 wasn't really gonna mean nothing. And I didn't have nothing to spend it on. So I think we really gotta just buckle down and not use ignorance or lack of information. We can't say that we don't have access to the information anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't believe in crypto. They thought it was a scam, and a lot of them Bitcoin people, when they was coming up, I mean, they would walk into these banks and get turned away because people thought that they was scamming and that they thought there was
Hmm.
money laundering and all that. So, You know what I mean? Like they was walking in the banks and they think that Bitcoin was criminals type. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
crazy,
Well,
bro.
that's actually how when I got introduced to it, he was buying DMT off of Silk Road. And so I remember he was like, "Yeah, I had to meet up with this lady who she's a minor, and I had to give her the $100, and then she had to convert it into Bitcoin." And I was like, "Who is she, and why am I giving my money to her?" Like
It's
it just
confusing.
back then it was way more convoluted than it is now.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's way more
Yeah,
streamlined now.
yeah,
Hmm. For sure.
Yeah, you can get it through what Cash App now.
yeah.
Easy.
You
So
could
Easy
open
money.
up a Coinbase account. Everybody should have a Coinbase account at minimum.
yeah.
I definitely got one of those.
Hmm.
Any more advice before we go on to Xavier?
No, go ahead.
All right.
No, I did that's all I had on it. Yeah, but we definitely don't need to miss out on anything else. Everybody need to be buying XRP. I saw that he put Cardano in there. You know, a few other things. You know, Bitcoin's the biggest, but it's not the only one.
Hmm.
All right. I'm about to bring up Xavier
And we
Worthy
lost Vulgar.
situation.
Jones set up the traps to ensure that Xavier Worthy's $16 million contract would be completely ruined. However, Worthy had the last laugh. After the Chiefs' rookie Worthy experienced the defeat in the Super Bowl, he was caught in an accusation controversy. He was arrested in Georgetown on March 7th on the charge of domestic violence. Subsequently, Worthy's fiancée Jones hinted on social media that she was the one who filed the accusation. The two had been engaged last year, so why did Worthy suddenly commit domestic violence? In fact, it was all a trap set by Jones in an attempt to get her fiancé's $16 million. Because Jones was caught cheating by Worthy. As a national athlete, she had to safeguard her reputation. Out of desperation, she chose to accuse Worthy of committing domestic violence against her. But in reality, it was Jones who perpetrated the domestic violence. From the photos of Worthy when he was arrested, it can be seen that his face had been scratched by Jones, his hair had been pulled out, and she even smashed up a room. In addition, Jones also tried to extort money. Because once Worthy was convicted of domestic violence, he would face a prison sentence of 2 to 10 years. In that case, the $16 million contract that Worthy had just signed with the Chiefs would naturally be inherited by Jones. Fortunately, Jones didn't succeed. Worthy's lawyer declared that the case had been dismissed, and the surveillance video proved that Worthy didn't commit domestic violence. Everyone thought that it was Jones who should be sent to prison.
Crazy, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Who want to go first?
I'll
I'll
pop.
let y'all take.
You want to go, Bosa?
No. You got
Oh,
this.
okay. What I would say, this is the oldest trick in the book. I done been through it with females where it's like, okay, you got caught with a chick and you get attacked by ex-wife, and then they act like they the victims. Women do that. That's the oldest trick in the book. I just feel like he's on a more uh, high status source in the media, and that's how Vulgar was going at it with Jay, saying like, "Oh well, men gotta need men's counseling, or they need to be talked to with a life coach." The women are the ones that need to change, because the woman, she wasn't even thinking about anything. She was like, "I'm about to get that bag. I'm about to put this on him, and then once he go down, that's all mine. I'm in complete control."
Easy.
Yeah, I definitely think it's tragic, man. Like this dude is a NFL superstar, man, pretty much. And these chicks, I don't think they even think about the future or nothing. I think they always think about is like next month or tomorrow. They're not thinking that you're about to ruin this man's NFL career because you over here humping on what's his name. You know what I'm saying? And you got caught, and now y'all in there arguing, and then you point the finger at him when it's really your fault. You know what I'm saying? It's just a really sticky situation. I mean, we've seen worse situations than this in the NFL. I mean, people in the NFL that murder people and all kind of crazy stuff. So, but yeah, this is definitely crazy when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. Because that's what we like to talk about a lot on this show is relationships and stuff like that. So everything is kind of falling into play with this show. So yeah, I think it's a crazy ass situation though for sure. I feel sorry for him.
Yo, what's up?
I think it's crazy times, scary times that we live in, man. It's been so for a while for a lot of people in the spotlight. You know, if once those accusations stick, whether it's, you know, domestic abuse or, you know, SA type of allegations or anything, all you can really do is try to defend yourself. But unfortunately, like that, you know, once that stain is on you, it does way more damage way too fast. You know, by the time the news gets out there, you know, no, like that apology doesn't even get heard, or not even an apology, but that vindication, you know, it doesn't, it's never as loud as the accusation.
Yeah.
So
So for do y'all think people like football players or I'm gonna say athletes that make it to the league, because he's 21, right? Do y'all think that they need more experience before trying to live with women and get into these relationships? Or should they have some type of guide? You know, like now a lot of these players don't even have fathers. I think that's a big issue, is that a lot of these players are lacking fathers or hardcore fathers. I'll give you Iobasal probably know what I'm about to say, because before I was conservative, I was very liberal and very like naive. And we got a familiar person, Uncle Charles, who was always kind of red pill, right? And he would always give us advice on women and stuff. And I was the one, like y'all see me now, Iobasal know when I was the reverse. Like I was not like this before. And I would just look at him and be like, man, he's misogynistic. I didn't know that what that word was, but that's how I felt towards him. Like, and now that I'm in my 40s, I see that he was telling the truth. So I think maybe a lot of these guys, they're not hip on the game and they're thinking women are sugar and spice and everything nice until, you know, they get hit.
I
Yeah,
don't,
man, it's the
I'm
whole mess.
sorry.
Oh, my bad.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you
No,
good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I don't think you can really control if they move in with women or start these relationships. You know, for a lot of these dudes, you know, really a lot of people when it's their first time getting money, they was never the dude that was able to get girls. So for the first time in their life, you know, they got access to all this money, access to all these women, and nobody around them that could really check them.
Mhm.
So I don't really know how you could slow that down.
Uh, I
Yeah,
don't think you can ever control when a penis and a vagina get together. Like they gonna be
Mm.
crazy about each other. They gonna do the
oh,
most wild stuff. You see how your boy Travis Hunter girl act. It's if emotions involved, it's 10 times worse. Like this was his girl. This wasn't like just some chick
Yeah.
he was chilling with. Like this was his girl. You know, I don't know if they
Right.
got kids or whatever. So no, I don't think a lot of these guys you will be able to control. Like I think it's also depending on your chick. Like look, Patrick Mahomes chick, she do a lot of wild stuff, but she ain't put him in a crazy situation. I never seen LeBron wife put him in a crazy situation. Steph Curry wife, even though she says she wants some attention, I never seen her put him in a police situation. But I
Yeah.
see Jay Z have Beyonce's sister all attacking him in the face, and he just stood there. They still went at him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now I guess what I'm saying is if they had the knowledge, that's what I mean. Like the father, like I feel like a lot of these guys don't have the knowledge, because I just don't think these women up and like they're sugar and spice and everything nice and then they up and flip. I think there's signs. And a lot of these guys don't know, because I was like that. There was always signs with me. And I didn't notice them until I really start understanding like red pill and stuff like that. Now it's like obvious, but I think for me that's a lack of fathers,
If you
yeah.
love
I,
a
lack
s-
chick
of,
over,
lack
it
of
ain't gonna
strong
matter.
fathers. Huh?
yeah,
If
I
you
just want
love
to
a chick,
say,
it's not gonna matter. Go ahead, easy.
yeah, I just want to say, yeah, I think it's a whole mess though, man. And like you were saying, like I was gonna say the same thing. Like this wasn't no random chick that he just picked up. This was like his fiance, something he was gonna wife up. So I just don't understand, man. They need to think together and work together, because they might end up being together after this. You never know, but they need to get together though, for sure.
You said them being together?
I said a lot of people go through fights and
Yeah.
they'll make up. You know what I'm saying? I said if they're gonna stay together, they need to get it together.
Oh no, I hope he need to be done with that.
You
You
never
see,
know.
yeah, man, that man had to cut his hair. I'm sure he been just growing them locks for like years. Like them locks are long. He had to start that like when he was in elementary school. If he 21,
You never
yeah,
know, bro.
yeah, he'd be simp of the year if he go back to her.
I mean,
I
love,
don't
love it,
know.
love it how you doing crazy things. And sometimes you might be with a girl that's, she might be the sanest thing you ever met, but you just pushed the wrong button or you did something. We've all been in crazy situations. I think you live long enough, you might find yourself doing that. You never doing something that's out of character for you, or seeing somebody else come out of character for themselves.
Man,
We've
forget
all
that.
we've all been there.
Forget that. When I first started growing my beard, it had like Jada Pinkett alopecia looking. Like my beard was just not good, and now it's full. If my girl cut my beard, we done. I don't even know if I'll be on the man cave anymore.
Mm.
Nah, that's crossing the line right there for me.
That's funny.
I mean, that's young love. I mean, it's just that he got the spotlight on it. If he was in the hood somewhere, we'll be like, "Oh, that's normal." Like, of
Yeah,
course,
That's what I'm saying.
that's what happened.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's the difference, though. Like in the hood, you ain't got nothing. Like that's cool, but this man about 16 million.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was an
Yeah.
athlete too. She probably felt like, "Hey, I was with you in the trenches. I was out there running track. I was a baller too." Like, now you think you something? You know what I'm saying?
He is something though.
But cheating though.
He is something. He NFL star.
But the cheating, but now they push women to have these 304 phases now. So that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of these dudes need to just, especially when you get that type of money, just keep it cool for until your 30s.
Yeah,
Like,
the only thing that I want to add is I don't think one disagreement or one outburst like this should end a relationship. People recover sometimes. That's all I
Yeah.
want to add, bro.
man, she pulled
So
his locks out.
I don't think it'll be as much.
Bro. You gotta have like a code of ethics, and there gotta be like you gotta have 7 deadly sins somewhere. Certain things that are just not forgivable. Putting your hands on somebody, that's not. I don't allow no woman to put their hands on me. I had one situation which I told you about in the chat earlier with my first ex-wife. Basically, it got crazy. I ended up going to jail over it because on the police show, I called the police because she was just destroying my studio. Yobasaw might remember this. We got into it.
I think I do.
you remember the studio on Olathe, bro?
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, we got into it. And the reason why we got into it because it was Father's Day, bro. And I was working like 2 or 3 jobs back then. I'm 21. And I've always been a hustler. So she just wanted time. I'm like, hey, I can't give you that right now. You trying to go to school. We got a baby. I'm trying to hold down all the bills, which, back then was great because rent was nothing. But still, I had to work these jobs. And she wanted to do something. I'm like, it's my day. So I'm like, if I do have it off, I want to stay home. She didn't want to she wasn't going for that. So we went back and forth. And then it got crazy. So back then I was dealing with like asthma and stuff. So she just like sprayed me with aerosol spray, right? Yeah. And then like just start breaking my guitar, all kind of stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to put my hands on her. So I called the police to stop it. They come, they make me go outside. Next thing I know, I'm arrested. And it was like the worst 18 months because the state of Kansas was just all in our business, trying to take our daughter, everything. But I did go back after that, but I just never got over it. And a divorce happened from that. But ever since then, I don't let no woman put their hands on me. If I can't beat you down, you can't put your hands on me. You can't talk to me crazy. And every man should have a standard like that.
Well, my story, Vogel, like for me, I stayed out till 4 o'clock in the morning, like 3 nights in a row. And then last night she just had it. She attacked me in the shower. I didn't do nothing. They took me to jail. Like the police even tried to jump me, but I just was like, I went off on her when I got on the phone in the jail. But as soon as I walked in, I said, "Hey, who giving me their commissary? Like, let's get it popping in here." Like, so it's also like what you can take and what is around you. Like, cause for me, I had more power over her when I came back. But I went in there and I was out bailed. My mama bailed me out. I was out in 24 hours. I went and hung out, seen some people from the street. Like, yeah, like
Wait, hold on. You said
I'm
you went in
over
there
it.
and took niggas commissary?
I came in and chilling. I got top bunk. I'm eating this. Like I chilled the whole time. Like the matter of fact, the
Oh,
playoffs was on. I watched the playoffs. The CEO came up to me. He was like, "Hey man," I was working out a lot of this time. He was like, "Hey man, if you start something here, we gonna do you dirty." The CEO came up to me. I said, "Bro, I'm waiting on my bail right now." But when I came out, she felt guilty. She felt like, "Oh dang, I can't believe I did this to him." Like, so you have a little bit more control. Like, I can't believe you put the people on me. Like, if he stay with her, she go feel like she done told on herself. He go be able to tell her to do anything. Like, hey, go jump and get me a cheesecake and walk 12 miles back, and she go do everything.
Nah,
Hey,
that ain't
Gray,
how
you
that
sound
ain't
like
how
a
that work.
stepper, bro.
That ain't how that work. When you let them
You
get
sound like
away with it, they
a
feel like they
stepper,
can do it
dog.
again.
You sound
yeah.
like a
No, I
real
think
stepper, Gray.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah. You walked in there, new niggas, and was had them ordering spreads and everything. Man, that's crazy.
I was
I
hot.
ain't never been.
This was
Damn.
like on a weekend. So I came there. Matter of fact, I met the girl with Easy, who I was with. And that's how
Oh
I
yeah, I
got
remember that. I remember
caught. That's how I
that.
got caught. And then like she went off on me. I'm already mad with what happened with her. Then
I
so I
remember
went
that.
in there and then like I just was like, I'm stuck. Like I'm just gonna like chill. So like I just made the best of the situation. Like of course, Vogel, I came out, I was hot too. I had to talk to the people, but at the same time, she was crying. She called the DA like, "Oh, he didn't do anything." Like, so it was her reaction that made me say, "Okay." Now we broke up for some months after that, but I was just like, and we still ended up getting a divorce. But I know like women can't control their emotions.
But you know the best thing to do in that is don't engage. That's my biggest thing. Like, don't engage when they go into their emotions. Like, you start talking to them and they don't make no sense. You cut them off. They gonna come back and be like, "You don't let me get it out." Like, no, you got to talk to me with some sense because that's the trap. You right. Women don't know how to control their emotions, and when they in their emotions, let them sit with their own emotions by them damn selves. That's what I do now. I do not engage. That's the lesson I learned from both of my marriages. Because you get frustrated trying to make it make sense. And as a man, you can't make it make sense. I know all y'all can understand what I'm trying to say right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's a therapy session with me. But that's the best advice. Let them sit in their own stuff. Or you be sitting down there like Gray, the commissary.
Taking niggas commissary.
That's
no,
crazy.
I was cool. I came in cool, bro. Like, but it was like a 4-man cell. So like, and it was 2 crackheads in my cell, just to be real. And I just was like,
Debo.
and then
That's
immediately was like,
crazy.
"Oh, here you go." So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take because I knew I was getting out. So it was just like I wasn't worried about it being like, "Oh yeah, you owe us," and jumping me by the shower. Somebody was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna eat this real quick." And then I'm out on the boys. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we gave him Cheetos and everything." Like, no, go.
That's crazy. How did the crackheads have more commissary than you though? That's the craziest thing.
But I gave somebody.
Crackheads is in there.
I gave my stuff away when I left. Though I gave my socks away.
Oh,
I gave
okay.
everything I had. I said, "Here, y'all take all of this," and I left.
Yeah, you're a real one, Gray, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I left out there with nothing. I said, "Bro, y'all take all of this. I'm going."
Yeah.
So
Fuck that.
so is it just you got kids, Easy?
No, I got one son. He's 18. So no, I don't have no kids. I got one son. No, don't put no plural on the internet shit. No.
Kids,
No,
adult.
I don't have no kids. I got one son. He's 18.
All right, what's were you in the house with him, or was it a co-parent situation?
I ain't about to be talking about my business on this show.
All right, you don't have to answer. Yobasaw, you want to elaborate?
If I do got kids, they ain't found me yet. So,
Wow.
nah, I don't have any.
Gray.
I got two daughters, 14 and 8. Well, no, she might be 16, 15 and 8. I was married to my high school sweethearts. I was with a person for a long time. We had our little breakups here and there, but then I just been officially divorced for like 4 years.
Well, mine is about to be out of college, and the other one is 9. And I hope that I don't have to go through a situation like what Umar is currently going through. And I'm going to start off with him. I really didn't want to play his daughter ranting. I do have one rant that I'm going to play halfway through our discussion on this. But here's the first of Dr. Umar responding to his daughter's accusations that he wasn't there and that he's a deadbeat and that she can't get a hold of him.
You really? I just don't understand why you're ignoring me. I'm 22 years old and you have yet to be in my life.
Y'all know me too well. Y'all know my love for children is too strong for anybody to be coming out the woodworks telling you they've been trying to reach me when my number has been public for 20 years. Listen, brothers and sisters, I want y'all to listen. My phone number has been the same for 20 years. So anybody telling you they've been trying to reach me and my phone number hasn't changed in 20 years, mind you, I speak at graduations in Philadelphia all the time.
You there, Vulgar? Think he might have froze.
Mm.
And can I pull this down? Vulgar, yeah?
When can the three of us have a sit down? I'm ready for this. I'm ready for when can Mama Smurf, Papa Smurf, and Baby Smurf have a sit down? Oh, I'm ready for this. And I will have my white man paperwork. I will have my white man paperwork. When can we do the sit down? When can we do the sit down? Been paying child support since you damn near came out the womb. Deadbeat who? When can we have a sit down? Child support started, you wasn't even out your mama yet, and she took me to child support. Deadbeat who? Deadbeat who? Child custody file this thick. What are we talking about? Where is Mama Smurf? What is your mama's Instagram? We want to ask her some questions. Where's your mama's face? Where is the mother? And none of y'all asking no questions.
Lord have mercy.
All right. So the question I'll pose first, do y'all think Dr. Umar was, do y'all think he should have responded publicly to his 22-year-old daughter, outing him on social media?
Go ahead. My bad.
Oh no, you got it. You go.
Okay. I'm gonna say yes, because if he probably texts her or call her, she probably wouldn't respond. If he even have her information, I don't know like everything about the story, but I did see that she was outing him and everything like that. So attacking publicly, and once she did it, I felt like that gave him the right to do it.
You oversaw?
Yeah, I agree. I think the days of just being silent and letting yourself get dragged through the mud are over. Unless you're in an active case or something where you literally can't speak on it, then yeah. Or if it's like a small child, and even then, depending on what's being said, sometimes you need to come out and say something to get in front of the narrative. But this is a grown young lady, and he's a public figure. Like, she's stepping into his space. So I think, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Easy.
Yeah, I never knew this about Dr. Umar. This is kind of interesting. I'm kind of startled by it still, man. Like I can't get over it. But yeah.
You was a Dr. Umar fan?
I mean, not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But I do like I've seen some of his videos. I mean, just like anybody else, I agree with some of his stuff. I don't agree with everything he say. But I mean, he seems like a good dude, and he is a star. So, but I think it's kind of weird that they're actually saying something now that you're grown, though. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you do this earlier when you were younger? You know what I'm saying? Like I think everybody want to go viral. Everybody got this want to be viral disease. Everybody want to be viral. So I don't know.
Yeah, my personal take from it is she's trying to gain off of her father, which I think is very disrespectful.
Hmm.
That's just my personal opinion, is that she's trying
Trying
to
to go
get a come
viral.
up. Yeah, because that's the
Yeah.
thing now. Play victim, especially if you play victim against a man, a black man at that, and then a black man who kind of goes against the system.
Mhm.
To play against him, the society's gonna jump. They're gonna jump behind her quick, especially the black woman hive.
Or maybe she's speaking out because she tried to reach out, and this was the only way she could do it. So
I,
it's kind of different scenarios. You know what I mean?
personally, I don't believe that. I just believe in today's time, if you want to get a hold of somebody, you can. And for him to come out, somebody's lying. She's lying or he's lying. And for him to say his number been the same for 20 years and that it's public, if he's not blocking her, then I don't know. I personally think the whole thing is, I believe there's almost a chance where they ain't on it together.
Why we never heard about his daughter though? I never ever heard him talk about his daughter or him having kids at
He
all.
do.
Oh, you do?
He do. There's a lot of videos where he says stuff about his daughters.
Oh, he got
Yeah,
multiple.
yeah, I think he got two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he has said stuff. It just doesn't make the headlines like the other stuff, crazy stuff that he says. And let me see. So do you think, because he says something in here that I agree with and most people don't, and I know I'm gonna get swarmed on for saying this, but I'll let y'all get your opinions first. Do you think if when you co-parent, you split, and then the court assigns you child support, do you think you're a deadbeat if you just do what you're told to do and pay that amount?
Women are used that term for anything. My cousin, his kid lived with him. His baby mama still call him a deadbeat. They'll use that term for anything. I pay child support and I pay for everything else. And my baby mama lived 10, 12 minutes away from me. And she'll use it just because she mad. So like, I just feel like it's like the N word for baby daddies.
Easy.
Nah, deadbeat. That's a word that's thrown around too loosely, man. You never know the actual situation, man, because women are very manipulative, man. You know what I'm saying? They like play games and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been through some things, but I'm not gonna speak on it. But tell me, I've been around the block a few times, dog. I just tell you that.
Yobasa.
Yeah, I don't like that word gets thrown around that loosely. I think
Mm.
um ultimately it comes down to the relationship between the mother and the father. And I don't have any kids, but pretty much all of my friends do. And thankfully none of them are deadbeats. I know some of them. I got friends that have went and put themselves on child support because the mama she's a dirtbag. and he just trying to make sure that it's on record that he's doing it. He's still doing extra stuff, you know, on the side of that. And sometimes if it's just a bad relationship, sometimes all you can do is just pay the child support, and you just got to
Yeah,
stay away from it.
Yeah.
that was my situation. All I could do was pay what you know what I'm saying, because she already took me out of the equation. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about my situation. She took me out of the
Mhm,
equation. I did my job. That's all I can do. So
mhm.
That's what a lot of women do though. They use the kids as pawns against the guy. Where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna let you see them unless you do X, Y, Z, or they just make it difficult. That's what I deal with my ex. Like she try to control everything with what they do, how they do it, in every way. If I didn't have like my mom and my sister as like a intermediary, like with dealing with her, I probably would never really see my kids because it's always some issues with
hmm
Mhm.
yeah, it's not always the guy's fault. Most of the time, they always try to blame it on the guy, but most of the time it's not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the guys be some players or they trying to do their thing or whatnot, but most of the time it is the women getting on men's nerves, man, and it does start controversy, and they never want to be accountable ever. They always want to point the other finger to the opposite person. No one want to take accountability, bro.
Yeah.
So then that's when it gets blamed on the guy.
Yeah. I personally believe if you paying what you're supposed to pay every month, you're not a deadbeat. I think whatever the court, once you take it to the courts, like I'm very like I'm, I'm a stickler. So if we gonna take it to the courts, then I'm gonna do what the court do. If I want to be a part of my daughter's life after the child support, cool. Or whatever agreement we have, and I do. Like my youngest, I go get her, bring her 800 miles. So, but that's because I want to do it. You can't shame me into that. And the reason being is I think today's society, we are glorifying the co-parenting situation. And it's a cop out for people who want to kind of, I don't think people understand what marriage is anymore, right? You got some people who just have kids because they have flings. You got a lot of people who they try to do the right thing, and then some dudes mess up, infidelity. But if you look, you got the 80% initiation divorce rate of women. So you got them initiating 80% of the divorces. I think when you do that and you got kids, that's how it should be, because now you got two households. The man got to have a household. The woman has a household. She got to work. The man got to work. So now he's essentially paying for two households. So what I tell women now is pick your poison. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So if you're expecting to split up, stop pushing this co-parenting stuff. I tell any man, you decide what you want to do. Do what
Yeah,
do your legal obligation. And if you don't want none, if they split and they not under your provision and you don't want nothing to do with that kid, I don't see nothing wrong with that, honestly. If you just pay your amount and you didn't cause it, now if you cause it, maybe you owe something. But if you didn't cause it, she just divorced because she was bored and wanted to get back to the streets. Nah, I have no feelings towards that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got divorced in 2014, so after that, it wasn't that bad. Then she went on a rant and did some crazy stuff. You know how they do. So I did my part. I had to so she can't tell me I ain't do my part.
I want to respond to something you said, though, Vulgar. I feel like when people are married or in long term relationships, that's when the co parenting is difficult because it's like bitter, y'all were together a long time. I don't feel like people that have one night stands or flings or wasn't a serious relationship and they have children. I feel like they have a much easier time co parenting because those emotions aren't there. It's kind of like we met in a club, I got pregnant, we just raising a baby together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that child support be there though.
That's what always going to be.
Yeah. Unless you got a
What it
crew,
boils
it ain't too many of those.
what it boils down to is relationship need to be based on loyalty. Relationships are not based on loyalty anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
I want to play this last video of Umar's daughter claiming that Umar was abusive. Like this to me is like the nail in the coffin.
Mm.
hate him too? Of course you do. Because he put his fucking hands on her. What the fuck is wrong with him? He should be in fucking jail. Like, really, he should be in jail. Like, I'm not even joking with y'all right now. It's a lot about him that y'all don't know. He's a crazy, sick man. How long was they together? I don't know. They met in college. I don't know how long they was together, but he was with his other child. He was with her mom for 5 years. That's what she told me over the phone. But I don't know how long him and my mom was together. So he's a woman abuser? Yes, he is. And a liar, and a hypocrite. Yeah, all those things. Yeah, she left him. And then this man got on the internet and said, my mom wanted to marry him. That's a lie. That's a lie. Why would my mom want to marry somebody that put his fucking hands on her? This man is a fucking liar. And I can't stand him.
Gray.
I feel like some of this stuff should definitely be family business. Should definitely not be put out in the streets. It's kind of reminding me like what Lil Boosie was going through with his daughter because she's gay or whatever, and they was going back and forth, and then they said they weren't gonna put anything in the public eye. I do feel like she's trying to tarnish Dr. Umar's image because he's built such a clean guy, pro-black, I'm the ultimate black man image, and now she's trying to say he beat women. So I don't think it's a good look for him.
You oversaw?
Yeah, I think it's a slippery slope, you know, when you just start trying to throw mud on somebody's name. Um, and it's never been heard before. We never heard any allegations like this before. If he was just a woman beater like that, then I'm pretty sure it would have been different allegations or something would have came out. You know, maybe her mom and him got into a real bad argument or something. And, you know, who knows? Maybe she got violent with him. Maybe he did. You know, none of us could say what it was, but I just, like you said, I think if it really is an issue, it needs to get handled in the family, especially if it was something that probably happened before she was born or, you know, shortly after. You know, if it's nothing new and she's just kind of coming out to tarnish his image because she mad, that's that's fucked up.
Easy.
I think it's crazy because honestly, social media is a dangerous tool. I mean, honestly, it's almost like she's incriminating herself on camera because what if she caused it? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. People need to think before they start posting shit on social media.
You think he'd be wrong to sue her?
That's what I'm telling you, bro. People think social media, bro. Everything is not for everybody. You can't post everything on social media, dog. New cops looking at that damn video. Like, man, people need to start thinking, bro. I swear.
But I think that's the mother talking, like Anthony said.
Yeah.
I think that's creating broken homes too. Just that mentality of her having that the mother. Like the one thing I will say about both of the mothers of my kids, they never talk bad. Like them growing up, there was a situation a few years ago, which I had to block my oldest mom. And we haven't really talked since we seen each other a couple times. I had to take my daughter back to college, but that was like the only time she really went in. It was just because she couldn't ride with us to take her 2 hours to college. So she pretty much just let out. But before that, she never really spoke bad. Like it was always good things. So my kids have pretty much seen me in a good light, even though we don't have the closest relationship. I think any father that's not in the home with his kids is going to be a distant relationship, no matter how much you try. But I will say that. But I think that's one thing that need to be pushed. Courts do push that. There are some courts where if they find out you're talking bad about either parent, you can be punished for it.
Yeah. It's crazy because a lot of times the parent just venting and, you know, the kids get caught in the middle. I remember my little cousin told me the worst day of his life was when his parents got divorced. So I mean, like it has a major impact on children. Sometimes the parents are just emotional, or sometimes they're not even talking directly to the kid. They're just talking to people, and the kid hears it. It's like, oh, my dad did this, or my dad did that. So, yeah, man, is the kids are the people are the real victims in these situations.
That's what I'm saying, man. Because people, I mean, everybody's watching social media. Imagine this kid going to school like, "Yo, I see your mama on social media talking about your problems in the house." It's like now he getting bullied and stuff. So it starts a whole nother issue.
But maybe she
Right.
crying out for help. She's seeing Dr. Umar talking about all these black women and how all this positive stuff, and then she like, you say all this positive stuff for all these people, but you don't talk to me.
And
But
maybe he just don't like his daughter. Maybe she was a bad kid, and he don't get along with her mama. Maybe she, I know this is probably taboo, but maybe for most of the time she was riding with her mama and she was disrespectful, and he just stopped fucking with them because she was disrespectful. And
Hmm.
now she lashing out. I'm just saying that could be one thing. Sometimes you got to walk away from a situation if it's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
yeah, and you could tell just how she's talking in these videos that she has no type of respect. The fact that she's even on the internet talking about her dad, to me, had like she has no respect. It's a Bible verse. It basically say if you disrespect your parents, you bring unaliving to yourself. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I think I heard
Like,
that.
Yeah,
yeah, the Bible.
something on there.
Let me see.
I think they say you cut your life short, like you cutting the life shorter or something.
Yeah. Yeah. For God said, honor your father and mother, and anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. That's the verse. Like it's you should not talk bad. Like my father was an alcoholic. Never really reached out. I always had to reach out to him anytime I would come home from Atlanta. Like he pretty much was along the way. So he'd be like 30 miles from where I would stop. I would always stop and see him. Even though I would go over there some weekends, and most of the weekends I was there, he'd be drunk. And then, he had cancer, and this is in 22, and he pretty much couldn't do anything. Like he couldn't use the bathroom by himself or nothing. And I would drive up from Nashville because I was working there at the time. I would drive up from Nashville and like relieve my sisters for taking care of him. Like I literally had to hold this dude up to use the bathroom, like the nastiest crap ever. But because I respect my parents, like he didn't have to do nothing. I forgave him. And I think that's what a lot of people aren't doing is you have to forgive to stop the cycle. So like I don't hold nothing against my father. Actually, we hung out, we talked because he came back. He came back around. He was fully aware for about 2 days. So we went to the casino and just talked it out because we had never really talked before. We went fishing a couple of times. That was it. But I'm glad I got that closure. But I never disrespected my father or my mother because my mother wasn't there either. She was mentally disabled. But I never disrespected them ever.
Wow, that's some deep stories, Volker.
Yeah.
I never met my biological father, but I did have somebody who I considered my father. I never really talked down on them. I didn't live with my mother either. I lived at my grandma's house. I got kicked out. I fought her husband. I got kicked out, but we reconnected when I was older. And by the time I lived in my grandma's house, I'm pretty much like grown, so we not on the same wavelength. Like I can't even think about what she talking about at that point. But over time, we did get back closer, especially like once I went through my divorce. At first, she was on my baby mama side. Then we kind of got closer. So things do happen that may make you be like, hey, man, I don't rock with you at all, even though it's your parent. But I wouldn't have publicly like went in on her or something like that.
Yeah. Boy, it sounded like the military saved you.
Yeah, I was bad, bro. I was bad. I was bad. I was super bad. I was having a good time though.
Right.
I had a baby in high school, and that made me go to the military.
Yeah. Yeah, Yobasar used to get me into some stuff, man.
Me,
I
man,
was a good kid. He used to get me into stuff, man.
I wasn't bad. I wasn't bad. You you know what I will say, and this kind of this might be still on topic, but separate person. I was listening to this to the Anthony Edwards thing, and basically how he responded to the girl, and he was mad saying that, you know, she was sick for wanting to have a baby with a man that doesn't want to be in the life. And I think that's it's a conversation that a lot of people don't want to get into and kind of tiptoe around. You know, a lot of the focus is on the man got to be there no matter what. But what if you know from the jump that I don't want to have a baby, you know, or let's say we came into this, you know, agreeing that we weren't going to have a baby, and then you get pregnant, and I don't know, you change your mind because now you're emotional. Um, but I'm still standing on what I started off with. Should should the woman still expect for that man to still be there, or should the man have the right to if he could prove like, look, like she knew from the jump, I made it known. And if you choose to have this baby, then you're having a baby. I don't want to be involved with it. What do y'all think about that?
Easy, you go first.
Oh my God. I mean, you gotta stand on business, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want a family and you truly want that Cosby family or whatever you want to call it, or people want to lay it
Mm.
out to be, you got you got to set the foundation and move forward with what you want and base everything on loyalty and trust. That's the best thing I can say, man. Um, Now some of these chicks play games, and honestly, all relationships are like rolling the dice for real. You know what I'm saying? Every time you invest in somebody, you're taking a gamble. So
I'll let you
Um,
go, Greg, because what I'm my answer to that is gonna be crazy. So go ahead.
well, you guys know I'm a Democrat, so I'm gonna say her body, her choice. Now, do I feel like there maybe should be like some leniency in child support or whatever the government's gonna make you do because you didn't want it? I think that should be like something, maybe some laws can get passed. But I mean, me myself, like, I'm a product of, I don't even know who my daddy is, so I wouldn't exist if people was rocking like that. So a lot of guys do get put in situations where you just out there and then a chick have a baby, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, I've been the person that someone had an abortion for me, and I'm like, to this day, I'm like, man, I wonder what that baby would have been like. So that might be one of my conservative kind of, but at the same time, it was just like it wasn't a good situation. So
And sorry, just to clarify,
yeah,
I'm not saying that she should be allowed to have the baby. It's her choice. But if she's
yeah,
going into it knowing that you don't want to be involved with it, then she's choosing to have a baby on her own, and you should be able to. I do think if you make it known from the jump and she knows that she's going into it to the solo, you shouldn't be held to anything. If you it's that's different than if I was in a relationship with a girl and we started off having this baby together, and then whatever happens and I just either choose to walk away or we break up, then yeah, we started this together.
You
But
know what?
yeah.
That's logical, right? But you got to understand there's a whole system at play. You have the feminists, which have hijacked the liberal side of Democrats, and there it's an ideology now. So while that seems fair, you have like that's a backup plan, and it's put in place for a lot of women to be able to move how they want, not have to jump into marriage. They can have their careers, and then when they like, hey, I want a kid, they can come up with all the excuses. You hear it all the time. He was abusive. He was this, he was gay, whatever the excuse is. He cheated. They do these things to escape actually being under a man's rule, and then they can raise the kids on their own. So that will never happen. Why? Because it's profitable. If you think about it, like Men making mistakes is profitable. If you mess around and get with the wrong woman and leave, now that because you know about child support, Title 4D, and all that, like states get reimbursed. It's a racket now. So you're never going to get those laws. Some states like Tennessee is they doing a paternity fraud thing or whatever, but most states aren't going to pass these type of laws because it would stop stuff like child support. If you start to say, hey, if he chooses at the beginning that he don't want any type of responsibility, a woman could do that, leave it at the fire station, right? But a man, they're not going to let a man do it because a man is normally the primary breadwinner. He's the one that hustles, fill in the potholes. He has more sustainable jobs where naturally we are supposed to take care of women, even though they're out here being independent, so-called, and doing these things. Men, we're a more reliable source of income, and that's what these corporations, that's what the government, that's what the United States care about. This is a business. So you're going to have a better business to hold the man responsible. So you're not going to get these type of laws because of that.
I agree with you, Vogel. I pay $21 fee every time I pay child support in Florida.
Yeah. A lot of people, like I said, I know it sounds logical, but when you start breaking it down and thinking about it like I do, you will understand that men's mistakes are profitable. The United States, the world, corporations, women are all waiting on you to mess up so they can come pull money out of your pockets. My grandfather, when I turned 18, the first thing he told me was, welcome to being an adult. Everybody that you look at, their number one goal is to take your money. He literally told me, he was like, if it's child support, if it's they trying to sell you a car, some weed, whatever it is, they're trying to take your money. So whenever, as a man, when you move, you got to think like that. Who's trying to take my money? And I didn't listen. And now I'm paying child support. If I understood that, I would move different. That's how I move now. I move like everybody's trying to take my money. They don't want me to have it.
He gave you good advice.
Yeah.
Sure.
Protect your neck. Protect your neck, Wu-Tang.
Want to do closing thoughts?
You want to go first, Yobasaw?
Man, I just thank y'all for having me on here, man. We've been talking about doing something for a minute, so I'll be looking forward to coming back on and hopefully getting the ball rolling on some more stuff too. Everybody follow me. I got some content coming soon. So I am Yobasaw on everything. And lock in with me, I'll lock in with you.
Easy.
Yobasaw, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. It was great, man. Gray, you already know. Vulgar, you already know.
Oh, yeah.
Yobasaw, I gotta get used to saying your name for sure. I think I messed it up earlier. My bad. But
no, you got it. You got it.
Yeah. Appreciate you for coming. It's nice to meet some of older people. He keep us on our toes over here with all this crazy stuff he say. So yeah, and we got another guy, Slim. So I'm glad you showed up because Vogel said he been boycotting the man cave, but you got to meet him too. He cool. He a major Trump supporter, love child support. But yeah, my closing thoughts is, guys, let's keep rocking the man cave. It was a good show. I'm glad we talk about child support because I think it affects a lot of men out there. I know it affects black men a lot, and when they talk about it, but I feel like it affects a lot of guys, especially with how high the divorce rate is.
For sure.
My closing thoughts. I hope y'all got a lot out of my last sermon on child support and how everybody is waiting. As men, you got to move like that. Everybody is waiting to take advantage of you. And you have to stay in front of that and think about how can you keep your wealth? How can you keep your health? The most important decision that you'll make in your life is the person you choose to be with. I learned that the hard way. And take your time. As a man, you should not be falling in love. You should love. Your love should come through protection, provision, right? And providing, not fairy tale head over heels because you can't move right. That's how you end up on child support. That's how you end up like Xavier Worthy. Who's the other guy that with Colorado?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, you end up like them because you can't think straight. And a lot of the times the flags are there. Even with me, like when I look back, I can see the flags now. So to my young guys, y'all watching this, yeah, watch out for those flags. And the best thing is stay on your purpose. Whatever your goal is, your dreams, plan it out, put it on paper, make it tangible. As long as you stay focused on your goal, you can't go wrong. And you won't fall into things like depression or devaluing yourself where you allow a woman to come in and take advantage of you. Man cave.
Man cave.
Great.
Man cave.
Introducing the new party. We live stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.